Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's challenging level puzzle, and it's called XOV to Seattle by The Bard. And here are the rules. We have extended Sudoku rules apply, where we need to place the digits 0 through 9 at each row, column, and box. However, there will be one digit in each that does not fit. This digit can vary between rows, columns, and boxes, and needs to be determined by the solver. I prefer putting this as, in every cell in the grid, place a single digit from 0 through 9, such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or box, or designated 9-cell region. That's what I would prefer, but that's just me. We have non-consecutive, where digits in orthogonally adjacent cells may not be consecutive except when forced by other constraints. What does that mean? Usually we don't have that except when forced by other constraints. I think it just means in this puzzle there are no two cells that share an edge, which is what orthogonally adjacent cells are. Is just basically cells that share an edge can be consecutive. So say you had okay, and digits separated by an x sum to 10, digits separated by a v sum to 5, and all x's and v's are given. So there is a negative constraint here for the x's and v's. So say there was a 3 here. That means this would have to be 2, and these digits could not be 4, because in this entire puzzle, no two cells that share an edge. Well, okay, this can't be 3 and 2 then. So that doesn't work. So you cannot have 3 and 2 here. Oh, that's when the forced by other constraints is in play. So you could have it by 3 and 2 with the V, but that means you can't have it. That's so weird. That's such a weird constraint. I don't know if I like that. Yeah, I prefer, like, so basically, this sort of gets into solving it, but there's no way you can have 3 sets of digits adding up to 5 unless one of them is 3 and 2. So, does that mean you could have a 3 and 2 here? It just doesn't make any sense. Like, this doesn't... It's forced to have this is 3 and 2. I don't know. I think I would prefer... I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Really. So, I think I kind of already disagree with the rating. At least the wording for this should be better. So there's going to be an instance where you have to have 3 and 2 in column 6, because there's 3 sets of digits which add up to 5. And the only possible combinations are 0 and 5, 1 and 4, and 2 and 3. So it's forced by the constraint, but that's... I don't know. It's not really forced. It's not technically forced by that constraint, right? You could technically have -1 in 6, technically, and that's not forced by it. And so I don't like that forced, except when forced by other constraints. Obviously, X doesn't affect it. Maybe it should be basically... yeah, I guess I would rewrite all these rules. Non-consecutive. Digits in orthogonally adjacent cells may not be consecutive, except when separated by a V, but only when separated by 3 sets of V's? I don't even know. I'm not sure where it sort of fits into this, so that's why I don't like this rule explanation. It's not very, it's not intuitive, it doesn't make any sense, it's just kind of So basically, I guess unless there's a V with next to the cell, you cannot, in between two cells, you cannot have two cells be consecutive. That's essentially it. But it's only in the case of when you have three V's in a row or in a box. I don't know. That just seems that seems very strange, but it is what it is. Anyways, so say you had a 4 here. That would mean this is, let's put 4 here. Say you had a 4 here, as an example. Then this would have to be 1, this would have to be 6, because there's an X between these two, and there's a V between these two. And this could not be 1 or 6 or 3 or 5, because we have the non-consecutive rule set, except when you're separated by V, I guess. And only when there's 3 V's in a row? I don't know. That's just kind of strange. And then you can't have 1 or 6 here because there's no X or V in between here. And all X's and V's are given. I like these type of puzzles, but the rule set is very strange. Extended Sudoku rules, that's fine. I just prefer a different wording. But the non-consecutive one is a very strange rule set. It's not even non-consecutive. It's basically non-consecutive, except with certain exceptions. And the question is, why do we have these certain exceptions? It's just I don't know. Something strikes me as wrong about that, but anyways, well, I'm just a solver. What do I know about these? Those are all the rules, though. And if you like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. Let's go. Okay, like I said, 3 sets of V's adding up to 5 means they must be 0, 6, 1, 5, and 2. Sorry, 0, 5, 1, 4, and 2, 3. Well, the only ones that can be next to an X also would be 1, 4, or 2, 3. 0 and 5, 0 would have to add up with 10, which is not a digit, and 5 would have to add up with 5, which is not a digit. So this must be here a 0, 5 pair, which means the other ones are 1 through 4. So this is 1 through 4 here, 6 through 9, 6 through 9 here. This is 1 through 4, 1 through 4, and this is 6 through 9. We have something similar here, except we don't know where the 0 through 5 is. This is 1 through 4. This has to be 6 through 9. This is another 1 through 4, another 1 through 4, 6 through 9 next to it. This is 10 away from a 1 through 4, which means this is 1 through 4, and this is 6 through 9. One of these okay, so say this was a 1 through 4 set. We already have 3 1 through 4s in the box, so this cannot be the 1 through 4 set. This must be 0 through 5. This has to be then 1 through 4. We have 4 cells in box 5, which are 1 through 4, so this cannot be 1 through 4. This is 0 and 5. Okay, so we should set some of these variables. So we're going to make this blue, yellow, red, and pink. Blue and pink. So red and yellow add up to 5. So this is yellow, this is red. This is yellow then. This must be the yellow high digit to add up. So this is the yellow low digit. This is the red low digit. So that's the red high digit. This is blue. This has to be pink. Pink has to be with blue here. These two add up to 5, and it cannot be blue and pink. It's red and yellow. But if this were yellow here as a high, that wouldn't work. So this has to be red as high, which makes this red low, which makes this yellow low, which adds up with red low to add up to 5. So that's red high here. This cannot be red, yellow, or blue because we have the low red, yellow, or blue here. Therefore, this must be pink. And this must be the 6 through 9 pink. And this must be the 1 through 4 pink here. Okay. This cannot be yellow adding up to 10. This cannot be yellow or red. Sorry, they can't be yellow or red adding up to 10. So this must be blue and pink. Therefore, this cannot contain the blue-pink 1 through 4 because we're guaranteed both of them here. So this has to be a 0-5 pair here. Since this is a 0-5 pair, this can't be 0 and 5 as a pair. It cannot be red and yellow, so this is blue and pink here. So we got blue pink as a pair here, adding up to 5. This can't be pink, cannot be yellow, cannot be red to add up to 10. So this is 2 blues, which means this can't be blue here. This is pink and pink adding up to 10. So this is the high pink. This must then be the low pink. So this is not pink here. This is blue. These add up to 10. These add up to 10. There's no red, there's no yellow. So this must be blue and pink. If we had 2 blues here, that would eliminate all blues for that cell. So this can't be blue. This is pink, which means this can't be pink. Oh, we already knew that here. We already have a low 1 through 4 here. So this must be a 0-5 pair, which makes us 0-5, 0-5, and 0-5. This has to be a high red or a high pink. Cannot be high pink because there would have to be an X in between them. And all X's and V's are given, so this must be a high red. That's the one that's in... So we're missing in row 7, we're missing a high pink. This has to be 0 or 5 here, because it's got all the other sets adding up to 10 in this box. 0, 5. This can't be the low blue, so this must be high blue, which makes this low blue. This can't be blue and pink. It could be red and yellow, or 0 and 5. We don't know. This can't be, no. So this low blue means this can't be blue and pink. This has to be red and yellow. So this is red and yellow. This can't be the low red, so this because of the low red in the column. So this is low yellow, this is low red, and this must be a 0-5 pair. This cannot be red or yellow adding up to 10 because we already have the low red and low yellow there. Cannot be pink, so this must be 2 blues. This can't be blue, cannot be pink. It's red or yellow. We don't know which. So this is yellow or red, but we don't know which one is which. We have to have... So in box 4, we're missing one of either the low yellow or the low red. The other one has to be here, but obviously they can't both be here. And they can't both be here because they're already in row 4. So we need a low pink then, which means it has to be here. So this is a low pink here. And this must be high red or high yellow, but we don't know which. It's the opposite of whatever that is. Okay. This is a V. Okay. This is blue high. This is red high. This is pink no matter what, but we don't know which. It's 1 through 4 or it's 6 through 9. We just don't know. One of these is guaranteed to be 0, the other one's guaranteed to be 5 here. So this cannot be 1 or 4. If this is 1, it would guarantee to have a 1 next to a 0. If it's 4, it would have to be guaranteed to be next to a 5. So this has to be 2 or 3. So the pink and blue are 2 and 3. The red and yellow are 1 and 4, which means they must be with 6 or 9. So this is 6 or 9. This is 2 or 3. The blue is 2, 3 with 7 or 8. So is the pink. So this is 6, 9. 1, 4, 1, 4. 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4. 6, 9. 7, 8. 2, 3. 6, 9. Okay. Okay. This digit is 6, 7, 8, or 9. That doesn't help much. This cannot be pink high, because there would have to be an X in between them. So this has to be red high or yellow high. So it's 6 or 9. This, however, could be both. This can't be red. So it could be yellow, blue, or pink here. This is 6 through 9. It could be blue, could be yellow. So this is blue or yellow high. What are we missing in row 4? We are missing, so this cannot be low red or low yellow. Therefore, this must be red or yellow high. What about row 6? You cannot have the pink here because there would have to be an X in between them. So this is the other red or yellow high, and a 6, 9. Right? Because there would have to be an X in between them if it wasn't. Right? We don't know if this is low or high here. This could be pink, red, or yellow. It cannot be pink. It cannot be red high. So this is pink or yellow high here. And again, it's 6 through 9. So, okay, this is a blue-pink pair. Therefore, this can't be blue and pink adding up to 5. Can't be 0, 5, so this must be red and yellow. If this is red and yellow, this has to be red as low. This must be yellow as low. So then we have 1, 4, 1, 4. That means this can't be red or yellow. It's blue or pink. Cannot be both pink, because if it were both pink, that would eliminate pink from that row. So this must be both blue. So we have both blues here as low and high, so this cannot be blue. This is pink, which means this can't be pink. That's blue. So this is 2, 3, 2, 3. Remaining digits. So this can't be 0, 5. It has to be 2, 3, 7, or 8. Cannot be the 2, 3. So this has to be a 7 or 8. And it's blue or pink. We don't know which. And this digit cannot be pink 7, 8. Cannot be blue 7, 8. So neither of those can be pink or blue 7, 8. So this has to be, there's no 1, 4, there's no 6, 9. It can't be low 2, 3, so this must be 0 or 5. What are we missing then? Okay. Let's start coloring the 0, 5s. Actually, let's make the pinks orange, because that sort of more works for that. We're going to make this green and pink for the 0, 5s. So this is pink, which makes this green, which makes this pink, which makes this green. We don't know the difference between these. So this will make medium gray and dark gray. So that's medium. This is dark, medium. Medium makes this dark, which makes this medium. This cannot be 05 here because of the 05 pair in the box. Therefore, the remaining digit, it's missing, is 2 oranges, 2 reds, sorry, 2 blues, and red and yellow. So this must also be a red or yellow. It cannot be red because of the double red in the box, in the row. So this is yellow, which means this cannot be a yellow pair. They're both red. So this red pair means this can't be red. This is the high yellow. This must be the low yellow here. Therefore, this can't be high yellow here. This is high red. No high red here. That's high yellow. Remaining digits of column 2. This is the high red, so this must be low red. High red, low red here. We're missing yellow or pink. No, yellow, sorry. Yellow or the high orange. Okay. Well, yellow can't be here. What else are we missing? We must be missing something else. We have 2 blues, 2 reds. Green and pink. Low, we're missing high. So we must be missing low yellow in column 2. Because we already have a low yellow in that box, and the remaining cells cannot be low yellow. So we must have high yellow left and high orange. So this is high orange, this is high yellow. Okay. What else are we missing? This could be the dark 05. So this is dark 05 or blue or yellow high. It cannot be blue high, so it could be yellow high here, or it's dark 05. So this is 05 with 6 or 9 as possibilities. Remaining digits of column. Column 4. We're missing blue. We're missing high yellow. high orange, and one out of high blue or high yellow. Okay, that's not helpful. What about row? Let's do row 3. We're missing low yellow, and this can't be low yellow. We're missing high red. Okay, so we're missing high red in row 3. So that means we have to have a guaranteed low yellow. So this is guaranteed low yellow. And this must be blue or orange high digit. And it cannot be blue because we have 2 blues in column 7. So this is not blue, this is orange. This is not orange, that's blue. Okay. What are we missing in row 9? We can't... Okay, so we're missing a 0, 5. So that means this cannot be 0, 5. It's yellow or orange. And it could be low... It cannot be low orange. This is... So this is high yellow and high orange, which means this can't be high orange. This is low orange. So it's 2, 3, 7, 8. This cannot be high yellow because we have 2 of these. One of them must be high yellow. The other is high orange. So this cannot be high yellow. This is high red. What are we missing in column 8? We have both blues. We have both reds. We're missing high orange or high yellow. This can't be high orange because of the high orange in the row. So this must be high yellow. Okay, that means we're missing an orange here. We don't, and it cannot be the high orange, so this must be the low orange. Therefore, this can't be low blue here. This must be high blue, because otherwise there would be a V in between them. This is then the low blue. This is high blue. And what are we missing in row 8? We have both 0, 5s. We have both 1, 4s. We're missing one of the blues. So this is one of the blues, and we don't know which. This can't be low blue because there would have to be a V in between this. So this is 7, 8. This is 2, 3. That makes this 7, 8, and this 2, 3. Okay. High yellow and high blue. High yellow and high blue are not consecutive because they're next to each other. So low yellow and low blue are not consecutive either. Well, we already knew that. So pink 0, 5 and low red cannot be consecutive. So that means green and low red are consecutive. So green and low red are consecutive. That means red cannot be with dark. Yeah. So red is not consecutive with pink. So it can be next to each other. Therefore, dark must be the same as pink. So dark is pink. Medium is green. Okay. Okay. Orange is next to red. So orange and red are not consecutive. Okay, so this could be either one then here. Orange or red are consecutive. Blue and yellow are not consecutive. Oh, interesting. So blue, yeah. That's fine. Okay, so again, red and pink are not consecutive. Yellow and green are not consecutive. So this must be yellow with green, which makes this pink, which makes this green, which makes this pink. Okay. What does this mean? I don't really know. So yellow and blue are not consecutive. Red and orange are not consecutive. Um, hmm. Huh. So we got these areas where we don't know what they are color-wise. No, never mind. Again, red and yellow are not consecutive. Sorry. Yellow and blue are not consecutive, and red and orange are not consecutive. Hmm. Red and pink are consecutive, and green and yellow aren't consecutive. But we have the high red next to the green. So if green were 5, well, that could be 1, 9. No, if green were 5, pink would be 0. So that would force red to be 4 and this to be 6, which is not possible. So green cannot be 5. So green has to be 0. So green is 0, pink is 5. Red cannot be 4, so red is 1. Okay, we remove all the 6 9s. So red has to be 1. We can delete those colors. The remaining reds are 9. So that means the yellow 1 4s are 4. We can delete those colors and the remaining yellows. Well, we don't know about these. Oh, this one we don't know either. This can't be 9 anymore. So it's either 6 or the pink is 5. So then this is 5 or 6. We don't know what this is. Remove the non-known yellows. So these are 6. Obviously, the high blues are 8. Low blues are 2. which means the low oranges are 3. We can remove the orange there. All the oranges except for the unknown ones are 7. All the high blues are 8. So this can... Oh, it's next to blue and high orange. It's high red. So this has to be 6, which is high yellow. So it's not orange. This is not yellow. Then this is high orange. High orange is 7, which makes this a 6. This cannot be high blue anymore because it's consecutive with 7. So this is low blue. This is 3 or 7. Cannot be 7 because it's next to 6. So this is 3. No 7 or 9. Cannot be 8 because if it were 8, that would be consecutive with 9. So this must be yellow and is 6. Which means this can't be yellow and 6. This must be pink. So it's 5. And that's a solution. Yeah, I don't... Yeah, I would prefer it if basically that the non... So just basically I would prefer a rewrite of the rules. For one, I mean, you could just do it. The Sudoku rules is basically in each cell in the grid place a single digit from 0 through 9, such that there are no repeats in any row, column, or box. For this version of the non-consecutive, it's not a full version of non-consecutive. It's a very specified version. I would say digits and orthogonally adjacent cells may not be consecutive except when they're next to a V. That makes things really clear about where things can be, right? And you're forced to, essentially, not have the 2 and 3s in certain places, right? Yeah. So, I don't know. Maybe there is some constraint. I don't think so. I think each one of these has to be 0 or 5, right? Except for that. So, yeah. I would prefer that, yeah, the non-consecutive rule set be basically saying two adjacent cells cannot be consecutive except if they are next to a V. Because you still have to have very specific, you are still restricted in where the 2s and the 3s can be, right? Because this must be next to an X, so it has to be 1 through 4 next to a 6 through 9. This has to be next to an X, so that also must be 1 through 4, 6 through 9. Same with these, same with these, same with these, etc., etc. And then you'll eventually get to a place where you cannot have the 0 and the 5. The green can't be 5 because it would be next to both 4 or 6 if it were next to these. So I would prefer it that way, and it would make it very clear about where the other constraints are forcing essentially the consecutiveness. But anyways, that's just me. I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.